Our today's topic is the adverb. Basic definitions of adverbs are: adverbs tells us how, where, when, and how often an action is done. They modify verbs, adjectives, and another adverbs, and they describe the manner, place, or the time of action. Like when we say how an action is done, it relates to manner. When we say where an action is done, it relates to place. And when we say when an action is done, it relates to time of action. Adverbs, like adjectives, they are modifiers, but their function of modification is different. Like adverbs modify verbs, and they also modify adjectives, and they also modify another adverbs. Adjectives are the modifiers, but adjectives only modify nouns and pronouns. Formation of adverbs. Some adverbs are formed from adjectives, like there is a word kind, and we design a new word kindly. A word happy, we design a new word happily. Wonderful becomes wonderfully, loud becomes loudly, sad becomes sadly, beautiful becomes beautifully, and sweet becomes sweetly. But this is not the only way to form adverbs and to identify adverbs. These are only some examples, and they are mostly used in the category of manner of action, how an action is done. There is another important thing: some words that end in ly are not adverbs. Some adjectives end in ly too. For example, Sam was feeling very lonely. Here, the word lonely is adjective because lonely is modifying Sam here. Sam, that is a noun. In the second sentence, she was wearing a lovely dress. Here, dress is a noun and lovely has been used as a modifier for the noun dress. In the third sentence, it was a very lively party. So, party has been modified by an adjective, lively. So we cannot say that these words having ly endings, they can function as an adverb, but they will be adjectives. Next is kinds of adverbs. First kind is manner. It describes in which manner an action is done. Second in place. It describes where an action is done, the place of action. Next is time. It describes when an action is done, what is the time of an action. Next is frequency. It shows how many times an action is done. Next kind is purpose or reason. It describes the purpose or reason of the action. Next kind is quantity or degree. It shows how much or in what degree or to what extent. And next kind is affirmation or negation, which says yes if it is yes and no if it is no. So I will start defining from the first kind, that is adverbs of place. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question where the action is done. They are called adverbs of place. There are some examples. First is the boys are playing upstairs. So the action is playing. And where the boys are playing, they're playing upstairs. So this is the answer of the question: where the boys are playing, they're playing upstairs. The second example is the dog is in the garden. Where the dog is in the garden. In the garden is the adverb of place. This is the adverb phrase, we can say. The third example is we are going to New York City on our school trip. Where we are going to New York City. It is an answer of the question where. Next example is it is very sunny but cold outside. Where it is sunny and cold, it is outside. So outside is the adverb of place. The next kind is adverbs of manner. Some adverbs and adverb phrases describe the way people do things. These adverbs answer the question how. Examples are: the girl answered all the questions correctly. So if we assume the question how, the girls answered all the questions. So the answer will be she answered all the questions correctly. Correctly is the adverb of manner. Second example is he was driving carelessly. How he was driving? He was driving carelessly. So carelessly is adverb of manner. Third example is the plane landed safely. How the plane was landed? It landed safely. Next example is Sarah plays guitar skillfully. How Sarah plays guitar? She plays skillfully. Skillfully is the adverb of manner. Next kind is adverbs of frequency. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question how often. How often an action is done. They are called adverbs of frequency. Examples are the first example is the children always go to school on the bus. How often children go to school on the bus? How often they go on the bus? They always go to school on the bus. So always showing the frequency of action. Next example is I will never make that mistake again. So how often you will make that mistake again? So the answer will be I will never. I will never make that mistake again. Next example is I clean my bedroom every day. So, how often you clean your bedroom? I clean my bedroom every day. Every day is adverb of frequency. Next example is Akram polishes his shoes twice a week. So, twice a week is adverb of frequency. Next kind is adverbs of time. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question when an action is done. Examples are the train has already left. When the train left, the train has already is the adverb of time because it is showing the time of action. Second example is we moved into our new house last week. When we moved into our new house last week, it was last week. So moved an action and it was done last week. Last week is adverb of time. Next example is our favorite TV program starts at 6 o'clock. When our favorite TV program starts, it starts at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is adverb of time. Next example is I'm going to my new school tomorrow. When I'm going to my new school, I'm going to my new school tomorrow. So the action will be done tomorrow. Next kind is adverbs of quantity or degree. It shows how much or in what degree or to what extent the action is done or the things are. First example is he was too careless. How much he was careless? He was too careless. So too here is an adverb of degree and it is the modifier of careless. Careless is your adjective. So here too is modifying the word adjective careless. Next example is the sea is very stormy. Here very is adverb of degree is modifying an adjective that is stormy. Next example is I am rather busy. So busy is here an adjective and rather is an adverb of degree and it is the modifier of the word busy. Next example is I'm fully prepared. So prepared here is an adjective and fully being an adverb of degree is the modifier of an adjective paired. Next example is these mangoes are almost ripe. Here almost is adverb of degree and it is the modifier of an adjective word that is ripe. Here adverbs of degree answer the question of how much. How much careless he was, too careless. How much sea stormy is, very stormy. How much busy I am, rather busy. How much prepared I am, fully prepared. And how much mangoes are ripe, almost ripe. So these words show the degree. The next kind is adverbs of reason. The adverb which tells us about the reason behind the happening of a particular action. And these adverbs answer the question of why an action is done. The first example is he is hence unable to refute the charge. Why he is unable to refute the charge? He may be in critical condition. He may be suffering with some loss. That's why, and hence he is unable to refute the charge. Hence is showing the reason behind the action. The second sentence is he therefore left the school. Therefore shows the reason of action, why he left the school. And the background reason can be he may be in depressed state of mind, and therefore he decided to left the school. So therefore shows the reason of action. The third example is however he may come tomorrow. However is the adverb of reason, and it is showing the reason behind the action of coming. He might late today, however he may come tomorrow. So however is the reason behind the action of coming. Next kind is adverbs of affirmation and negation. Some adverbs declare whether something is true or something is false. Something comes with yes statement or something comes with no statement. The examples are no longer, hardly, very, never, surely, certainly, definitely, and these words have been used in the sentences. First sentence is surely you are mistaken, and second is he certainly went. Surely and certainly are the words of affirmation. Like there is the question, either you are mistaken or not. The answer will be surely you are mistaken. If you are really mistaken, so surely shows actually affirmation of the answer. Yes, you're mistaken. He certainly went here. Yes, he went there, or something else. So surely and certainly they are the replacements of the word yes. Yes shows affirmation. So surely and certainly here the adverbs of affirmation. Here are some different kinds of adverbs, and we can relate these adverbs to the adverbs of affirmation and negation. Let's check the definition. Adverbs standing at the beginning of sentences modify the whole sentence rather than any particular word. When we use particular kinds of adverb at the very start of sentence, they will modify the whole sentence. Like not only any particular adjective, not only any particular adverb, or not only any particular verb. These adjectives will modify the whole sentence. As the first example is, probably he is mistaken. This sentence is also stated as, it is probable that he is mistaken. We can replace probably as yes. Yes, he is mistaken, or no. No, he is not mistaken. So when we will use yes, it will show affirmation, and when we will use no, so it will show negation. Second sentence is possibly it is as you say. Yes, it is as you say. So possibly is also an adverb of affirmation. Certainly you are wrong. Yes, you are wrong. Certainly is also an adverb of affirmation. Next example is evidently the figures are incorrect. Yes, the figures are incorrect. We can also add this adverb into the adverb of affirmation. Next example is unfortunately no one was present there. So unfortunately will relate to the adverb of negation, as we can replace unfortunately with the word no. No, no one was present there. And we can also replace this word with the word of yes. Yes, no one was present there. So whatever the word is, it depends on us. Either we have to choose yes as affirmation or no as negation. Next sentence is luckily he escaped unhurt. Luckily can also be replaced with the word yes or no. Probably, possibly, certainly, evidently, unfortunately, luckily. These adverbs can be considered the adverbs of comment because they comment the whole sentence and the meaning of whole sentence. So these are called adverbs of comment. The next point is comparison of adverbs. Some adverbs, like adjectives, have three degrees of comparison. Such adverbs are generally compared like adjectives. These are the examples of adverbs. Like first degree is fast, second is faster, third is fastest. The same degrees we use as adjectives and the same degrees we use as adverbs. Just we have to check what function they will play. If these words modify verbs, adjectives, and another adverbs, they will be adverbs. And if the similar words will modify nouns and pronouns, they will be adjectives. The examples have been used in the sentence, As the first sentence shows, Akram ran fast. Here, fast is our positive degree of adverb because fast here is the word that modifies the action. Action is ran. How Akram ran? He ran fast. In the second sentence, Shahid ran faster than Akram does. Here, faster is a comparative degree of adverb because here faster is also a verb, is also a modifier of the action. Action is ran. Third sentence, Ahmad ran fastest of all. Here, fastest is the superlative degree of adverb because here fastest is the word that modifies the action ran.